What's up everyone, Alex here. So I wanted to follow the video I made yesterday where I reviewed the Miyoo Mini Plus because I have dyed the shell and it's a little bit darker than I wanted it to be, but I'm actually really happy with it compared to the bright pink. I mean, some people in the comments were saying that doesn't look like purple, that looks like pink. So I woke up this morning and I went to play this and I thought, you know what, I gotta try this. And I would just want to like start this video by saying this isn't a teardown. I'm not going to take apart the Miyoo Mini and show what I did, mainly because I don't have any footage of me dyeing the shell with this Rip Dye More. And also, I'm not going to take the screen off again, but a lot of people have modded their Miyoo Minis, and to be honest, it's fairly similar. The shells are fairly similar, the way you take them apart is fairly similar. I think the battery might be a little bit different on the Miyoo Mini. Yeah, so in the Mini here, there's just a straight connection here. The battery just straight there. In the Miyoo Mini Plus here, I always find this a bit hard to get off. If I was to just push the battery open here, you'd see that the connection actually goes through the back of the shell into the circuit board. That's the main difference really. There's nothing that crazy about it. But yeah, so I managed to get the screen off the shell. I was a bit worried about that at first, but it's actually not too difficult. So these screens, they sort of slot into the case at the bottom and the adhesive is only at the top. So when you like take off the shell and you look at the back, what I actually did, it's kind of different to other shells I've seen, but so there's the long adhesive across the back here, and then there's like a couple of like little holes where actually you can see the adhesive is not touching any plastic, it's bare. So what I did was I got a cotton bud and I also used some alcohol rub, and I just added a little bit to the cotton bud, and then I just pushed gently on the exposed holes where I could see the adhesive tape, and just slowly just kept pushing and pushing in each part so that the screen would just edge more and more off. And the really great thing actually was that the screen came off quite easily and there was still plenty adhesive from the tape. So I was able to slot the screen back with the same adhesive and it's not had any problems. I've been playing it for a little while. I was actually playing some PS1 games, and the screen, as I said in my video yesterday, gets quite warm, and you would think that would, like, you know, make the screen warmer and the adhesive not work as much, but yeah, it's been working fine. So after I took everything apart, I got the individual shell pieces, and I'll show here actually because I forgot. So these come off, the plus minus and the power buttons. I forgot that I should dye those, but I actually quite like it. I kind of like that contrast where it just sort of it's like, oh, that's where the plus minus buttons are, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, so I got the shell off. So you got the front, the back, and then the battery cover here. And then I've done a video about this on my Retroid Pocket as well, where so basically I linked some videos to how you might do this yourself, and basically what I did is I got a tray, I filled it with water, and then I put a bunch of this Rip Dye More in there, like a third of the bottle, maybe, it depends how much you're dyeing. And then you also have to use some acetone, and depending how much acetone you use is like how easily the dye is gonna like fuse to the plastic. So basically, if I wanted this to be really, really black, I'd probably use less acetone. This came out a little darker than I expected, but it's still fairly purple. It's like a dark cherry, which I really like actually, so I was happy that it came out this way. And yeah, you let that boil together for a few minutes. Depends how much you think it needs to like fuse in. And then you take the cases out, you put it in cold water, and then you let them dry. And after they've dried, what I would do is either with some alcohol rub or some alcohol pads, you get one of those, and you just clean over the entire shell. Just make sure there's no like dirt or, you know, leftover residue from the dye, and then you're ready to like piece it back together. And it was quite easy for me. Just slot the screen back in and just press down and let the existing adhesive just apply back, so I haven't had any problems with that. The buttons, so these are the same buttons. I actually checked. These are the buttons that came with my black Miyoo Mini, because obviously I did my PlayStation mod. So these are all the same buttons, and yeah, you can just put these straight in and they'll work. So I tried it with this color. This is what convinced me to do the dye. I use these color buttons with like this, the clear, let's call it the clear pink, because it's not that great. I was like, dude, I think I'm going to dye my shell. I'm going to give it a go. And then once I dyed it, I thought actually the buttons that it came with, now it's got like this lovely dark cherry look, and I think it's amazing. I love it now. I'm very, very happy with it. This is what it should have been like. Maybe a little bit lighter, but this is what it should have been like. Another thing I did with the screen, so some people complained that there was like this bright bar here. So once I already had the screen out, I just got like a black felt tip and just colored over the bottom, and now you can like barely see it, so it works quite nicely. Oh, one of the downsides to dyeing the shell is you can barely see the Y, X, A, B and start and select, because the dye has obviously dyed that as well. So you'll have to just, if you can live with that, that's fine. I don't really care, to be honest. So yeah, you can change the buttons, and one of the last things is the light at the top. So, you know, when you buy these clear shells, usually you get this light bleed, and I fixed that so I can play, and it's not easy to capture footage when I've got the game this high, but what I did was after the shell was open, it's different to the Miyoo Mini because there wasn't as much room to get back here. There's like this plastic grid that gets in the way, and there's a small piece of plastic here that's like a white piece of plastic that sort of it sort of like puts some space between the board and these light holes here, so that these lights come out better or something. But what I did is I got some little bits of white tack, I colored them in black, and then I just like pushed them into the edges underneath these holes, and now there's barely any light issue. And yeah, so I can just play a game. And this is really bright, which is why I have to turn the game down on my camera. I know someone complained yesterday. Well, someone said in the comments like, oh, this video is really dark, but if I want to capture the screen nicely, I have to get it dark, because I don't have like a super nice setup or a really advanced camera. And now this looks really dark. I might have to actually open this again and perhaps clean the inside of the shell just a little bit more with some alcohol pads, so that it's just, because I feel like there's a little bit of dye residue in there that's made it a tad bit smudgy, and I think I can clean it up some more. But yeah, now I'm just looking forward to getting, when Onion OS is ready for the Miyoo Mini Plus, I'll be looking forward to just setting up this bad boy like the way I'd like. I don't even know if I'm looking forward to getting some new buttons or anything, because I really like the way this looks. It's like a nice dark cherry now, and like I said, this is what it should have been like. I guess if I had one regret, I would maybe think about taking off these LR buttons and maybe not dyeing those, so I have that cool effect of this contrast of the plus minus buttons and the power button here. And yeah, so now I have an amazing, cool, dark cherry purple case, which goes nicely with the Miyoo Mini. And I think that just about wraps it up. I've talked about the dye and the getting off the adhesive. So yeah, sorry it's not really an instructional video about how to take off the screen and how to dye the shell. I just don't really have like the kind of setup to capture that stuff properly and do good tutorial videos, but I just kind of wanted to make a video and show that yeah, it's possible, and yeah, I'm very happy. So yeah, and maybe we'll do another video soon where we look into when they bring Onion OS to the Miyoo Mini Plus. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please give a like if you like the video, subscribe, hit the bell icon if you want more content, and I'll see you soon. Thank you very much. Bye bye.